when I started in the clubs, well, how can I say? When I started in '77, it wasn't no hip hop. I
Exactly.
also think that we need to start recording more original music. I'm
Okay.
tired of these cover tunes, and I think a lot of people are tired of the cover tunes. And these bands are very, very talented. I mean, I've seen this over and over again. Just like I said, Raz has got a bunch of original stuff. Look at all that Huckabuck stuff. Look at all that Northeast Groover stuff that was original.
Right. Right.
Trouble Funk stuff. Come on, man, you ain't got to do no cover tunes.
You right.
You're doing something enough, people gonna get used to it. They do it every night in the go-go. Backyard got a bunch of original stuff.
Yeah.
Need y'all doing hello. You know why? Because them type of songs right there, in my opinion, man, we trying to appease the radio. Nope.
Right. That ain't gonna play us anyway. They ain't gonna
Right.
show
They
us no
don't care,
love.
man.
Chief and Go.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the Chief and Go. Today I got with me a special guest, very special. He's a pioneer of hip hop, more specifically, definitely a pioneer of DC hip hop, a hip hop icon, a pillar of DC culture, a man of many hit records over a span of at least 30 years?
Pretty
I mean,
much.
he's had hit records, he's been a part of hit records. One of which just went platinum. It took some time and some digging, right? But it went platinum. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
still going, y'all. The legendary DJ Kool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Chief and Go, brother.
It's happening.
And let me add one of the realest and most humble brothers that I've came across in this game from day one. Every time I see him, speaks and responds and doesn't leave you hanging. So that's always a beautiful thing. That's number one, actually.
Thank you.
So, like my boy Ricky Angles, since I did the Northeast A to Z, which was really, I just said NEG A to Z because it rhymed, and they was actually telling the story. He was like, you should run them all like that. So, I mean, and that's cool. But I do want to start with what like influences created this enigma of what DJ Kool is. As a youngster, was it a musician, DJ in the family? Is it the culture? Because being though you're a part of, you're from Southeast,
Oh, yeah.
and was into hip hop at that time, which was kind of rare. What things initiated that spark of who you became, and was it DJ or MCing first, or did the DJ develop into MCing?
Well, first and foremost, I guess I could say I come from a musical household. In the fact that I heard my father playing a bunch of blues and jazz records and stuff like that in the '50s and in the '60s. I heard Otis Redding, I heard Brooke Benton, I heard Sam Cooke from my father, and then from my mother, I heard gospel artists like Mahalia Jackson and you know uh, all the gospel artists of the day in the late '50s and '60s. Uh, I had a cousin that turned me on to funk music, so I was into groups like Parliament Funkadelic, which is my number one group of all time
Mm-hmm.
uh, as far as funk music is concerned. Uh, and then from there, my musical influences, excuse me, um, basically started in a club that I wound up actually playing at later on in my career, or let's say in my life. I seen a DJ there named Maniac McLeod, and this was 1975, and he was playing at a club called The Room that used to be on 12th and New York Avenue Northwest. To make a long story short, I seen him, and I'm like, okay,
That's what I
yeah,
want to do.
this is what I want to pattern myself after. So I
Okay.
seen him first, and then I heard like around '79 when hip hop starts coming into the fold. I heard King Tim the Third, which was a MC that was working with the Fatback Band, which is a funk group out of the '70s. I heard him. I heard Melly Mel from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and I heard Grandmaster Flash. And so my MC influences would probably be, excuse me, Kington the Third, Melly Mel. My DJ influences would be Maniac McCloud, Grandmaster Flash, even though me and Flash is the same age. But,
Okay.
you know, he was the first person that I actually heard scratching and doing different things hip hop wise.
Right. He made the fader, right?
I'm sorry?
No, he made the that's not the fader, the you know, the AB switch, the slider. Like, what is that called?
Crossfader.
Crossfader, yeah, crossfader, right.
Crossfader. What's a few things that he pioneered as far as DJing is concerned?
Slip, mat, and all that. Okay, but I'm sorry.
And then on my
Okay.
go side, obviously Chuck Brown. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about that. So that was me as far as my music is concerned. But I had other interests. For me, you know, in my mind, one day I was going to play point guard for the Lakers. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Or I was going to be playing at the time for the Washington Senators, playing first base for the Washington Senators. I got a sports background too. Shout out to
See.
I played, you know, organized sports way back in the day.
Okay.
Baseball, basketball, played some football, ran some track. So,
what school did you go to?
Sports or music, one of the two, huh?
Right. It seemed like that's a lot of us. The Kari was the same way. He was saying he played football, but what high school did you go to?
Eastern High School.
Oh, Eastern. Okay. The Ramblers, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes,
oh,
indeed.
Yeah, that's legendary for y'all. It's a lot of great talent out of Eastern.
Oh, yeah.
Dang,
yep.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and now hip hop just turned 50, right? And they honored you at the Grammys, or they brought you out. I know they brought you out as one of those performances.
Ooh, I wish it was the Grammys.
Okay.
From your ears, you know what I mean? No, I've done a few hip hop 50 performances early on in the year. Actually, last year when it first started and everything. I don't know. We can go back a few years. Right after COVID, 2019, I was inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame here in DC. And so, I mean, myself, I've been in the game since '77. I started as a DJ in 1977. I was working with a group called the Sound Service. Matter of fact, they picked me up from doing house parties with a buddy named RG. And we were doing house parties, and then the Sound Service seen me, and they were like, man, you need to come and run with us. So I ran with them for 2 years. And then a buddy of mine, well, who became a buddy of mine, a guy named Keith Jefferson approached me at a Sound Service event and was like, Kool, you good enough to be playing in nightclubs. This was 1979. He said, you need to go to the Paragon 2 because I'm getting ready to leave there. And I think you're good enough to go up there and get that job. So that's what I did. In 1979, I went to the Paragon 2 and started in the club. And I worked every major urban club, right? Because, you know, you had different types of clubs. You had your urban music clubs, you had your house music clubs, and even some clubs that particularly play like world music, like reggae and soca and, you know, and calypso and stuff like that. But I was more so in your urban music club. So I did that from 79 up until probably 96 was the last time that I played in clubs here in DC on a regular basis.
Okay. Did you used to do the clubhouse, just by the way?
No, I never did. Well, I played there one time, but I never was employed. I never had a residency at the clubhouse. Shout out to Mandrill, Sam Burns, rest in peace, and a bunch of cats that were more so on the club music, house music side. Shout out to Greg D.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So you being one of the first hip hop artists from DC, right? I could think of you, and we kind of spoke about this. You said the first, right? DC Scorpio.
before me. Let's put it that way. And a lot
Right.
of them don't know nobody either.
Right. I mean, we know Fat Rodney and stuff. That might have been after you, right? So
Way after me.
Scorpio, that was way after you. Yeah. So so how did that work as far as the deal? How did you get the deal? Because like I guess me not thinking about it, when you was telling me you were signed with Rick Rubin and American music, and like how did
Later.
the deal come about? And then like I want you to tell the people what you told me and how that situation went with Rick and Russ, and you know how you felt they mishandled you.
Well, we're gonna have to work our way up to that. We need to go back to
Okay.
1986.
Okay.
We
All
need
right. Let's do it. You
to
got it.
And at the time, I was working at the Room. I worked at the Room from '82 to '86. Um, Towards the end of 1986, I had an opportunity to sign with an independent record label called CFM, which is Creative Funk Music Records,
Okay.
which was owned by Geek DeBerry, may he rest in peace. He was also an independent record promoter. Back in the day, we had a lot of these guys that worked for different labels, and they would come around, to the different clubs and service all the DJs. So let's say if I was an independent record promoter and you were a DJ at a club, I will come to your club with a handful of records, and these are all the records that I got from all the labels this week, and see what you like. You know what I mean? And so that's what
Okay.
he went around. He serviced all the DJs. So I was one of the DJs that was in his regular rotation while I was at the Room. One particular night, he said, "Man," he said, "you ever done any work in the studio?" I said, "Well, I've done a little work here and there." He said, "I have a group that I want you to do a mix on." It was an R&B group called 0 Hour that was signed to his label. So we in there, we working on the record and everything. I'm pushing faders up and down and so on and so forth. And he said, "Man, you ever thought about making records?" I was like, "Yeah." So I had an idea for a song called "The Music Ain't Loud Enough," that just like Prince said, I was dreaming when I wrote this song. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
same thing with
Right.
you. Yeah. I told this story on Easy's podcast one time. Shout out to Easy.
Easy
He
Street.
got a podcast that he does, yes, live from the
Yeah.
district, and I was similar story on his podcast. And I dripped the whole song. The music ain't loud enough. All the samples that I wanted to use, the arrangement, all the lyrics,
Wow.
everything came in, chopped up all the samples, um, and we did the record right over there at what used to be called Studio Records. Stephen Franco from back in the day
Okay.
that used to own Studio Records and used to also own Discount Mart. If you can remember Discount
I
Mart from back.
do. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, he had a studio in the Discount Mart over there at the Eastover location. And
Wow.
went in there, we recorded that record. Music Ain't Loud Enough came out and just went, it was crazy. Later on, we charted Billboard, went regional, then national. So this was 1986.
Okay.
All the rest of these artists that you mentioned, I'm the one that broke their records in the club first. Broke Scorpio record in the club first. Fat Rodney's record in the club first. I can even tell you what clubs that I was playing at when I broke these records. Stinky Dink, Vinny D,
Benny
on and
D,
on.
that's what I was gonna mention. Okay.
Yeah,
What's up?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, a lot
Look,
and a lot.
that's an ironic thing that you like you saying, claiming the title. I mean, not like that, but you pretty much the first, and you got control of it. Like, so I'm not a hater. Like I would go back to the beginning. I'm gonna still put you where you need to be. If it's hot, it's hot. You even had that authority or position, that's crazy and
Well, that's
beautiful.
because at the time, they had pretty much positioned me to be a top tier DJ in the clubs at that particular time. You know what I mean? And I guess it's because now I'm making all these records and they stick and they all over the radio and in rotation and whatnot. And at the same time, every time you come see me at one of these clubs, I'm trying to catch bodies. Like that's my
Right.
whole attitude. We're not doing nothing soft.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kill this club every night. And
Every
so,
time.
yeah, Scorpio bought me Stone Cold Hustler. I heard it. I put it on immediately. with Stinky Dink. Bought me
One
One
Track
Track
Mind.
Mind. I heard it. I put it on immediately. Well, when I was playing at Triples, when I heard Fat Rodney's record, may he rest in peace, busting out. And if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure because I don't rightly remember who bought me that record. But I was told that Chucky Thompson produced that record. Me and Chucky never talked about this, but I'm thinking he might have been the one that bought me that record when I was playing at Triples on Sunday night. I do remember it was on the yellow label with black writing. I heard the record, this hot, I'm playing it right now. Same thing, $55 motel. I heard the record, okay, this hot, I'm playing it right now. And the reason why I'm saying it like this is because a lot of DJs, like we get records from people, and a lot of times, like when we playing, we don't have time to listen to this record and decide whether or not it's going to fit the dance floor, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because I never heard the record. We don't know it. But some records, as soon as you hear the first two bars, you're like, okay, if the rest of it is like this, let's go. I'm going to take a chance on them. So all of these artists, all of them, you know what I mean?
And you going off your instincts in your ear too at the same time. That's why you was in that position. You know?
I mean, it was hot. I couldn't deny these records. Now I heard a lot of records and played a lot of records that stunk.
Right.
All of us DJs have. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, part of it is about you, but the other part is about how the dance floor or how the club feels or how the audience feels about this particular song. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you definitely have to use your own best judgment initially.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's one of the things that we're able to do as DJs and people that's having, musical ears or what have you. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, let's put it this way. When I started in the clubs, well, how can I say? When I started in 77, there wasn't no hip hop.
Disco's the end of disco, right?
Right.
Pretty much.
1979, when hip hop records started coming out. King Tim III, Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight. Then here come everybody else. Here comes Curtis Blow. Here comes Grandmaster Flash. Here comes boom, 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 all after that. 1979. 1979, I'm playing at the Paragon too. And just like I said, all the people before me won't play no hip hop because there won't no hip hop to play. It didn't exist.
Right.
I had a cat from Baltimore not too long ago come up to me. Cool, man, you must be one of the first dudes playing hip hop in the clubs in the area. And I'm like, well, if you got your calculations right, I probably was because the dudes before me, Maniac McCloud and all of them cats, they won't play no hip hop. They won't no hip hop to play.
Right. You were right on that cusp.
Right. So I came in right at the right time. One of the first ones, probably the first one to really start playing go-go a lot like that in the club. We talking about 79 again. The only go-go record that I'll say that I did not break in the clubs to the best of my knowledge. Once again, I'm not talking about in the clubs. I mean, I am talking about in the clubs, not mobile DJs and stuff like that because I don't know what they're playing. I'm in the clubs, you know what I'm saying?
Right, you locked in.
Was Bustin' Loose.
I knew you was going to say that for some reason.
Right? But anything from 79 on out, Trouble Funk, E-Flat Boogie, Rare Essence, Body Moves, EU, had a song called Rock Your Butt that was on a 45, believe it or not. It was not on 12 inch. Came out on a 45. And then everything after that, bunch of records. Junkyard Records, too many records to name. But I did hear Sugar Bear tell me this past year at an event for Bo Sampson's birthday party. Who you, the first DJ to start playing go-go in the clubs like that? I'm like, what? He said, yeah, and I'm going to say this in front of everybody. White boy told me the same thing.
It's crazy how sometimes you're
like I'm just doing my job. You know what I mean?
Right. And sometimes, as you go along and time goes by, especially your peers, they kind of like make you realize things that accomplishments or, things that you did. Well, you wasn't even looking. You just had your head down working. I
Right.
noticed
I
that in
wasn't
life,
thinking at all. No. Right.
that's a beautiful thing. Dang. So we at 86, you're still at the room. Cause when was, well, you said, oh no, you had The Music Ain't Loud Enough. That was 86.
Yeah.
I was looking at the discography. It was so much I couldn't keep
Class.
up. Okay.
I'm
But
sorry.
88, I remember 88. It just kept going. I was like, it was still going. 2016, 2019. So I'm just trying to kind of have a timeline and get to the deal and some of that stuff. Just because, like, yeah, like you making me realize you was the first person probably with a deal. I'm pretty sure with a hip hop deal.
Maybe. Well, no. I ain't gonna say that. Um, Major deal. Well, independently, probably yes.
Okay.
Dependent records go yes. Yeah.
Okay, so yours is more of an independent situation with right, because you had the record.
I'm
You had the
sorry.
record first. You had the
Mm-hmm.
record first. Okay.
Well, the deal was first. You know what I mean? He said, you want to come in and make this record, and I did.
Okay.
And then right after that, I
Okay.
signed with Creative Funk Records, or rather
Okay.
Creative Funk Music, CFM. And
Right.
so that everything started. So here come Music Ain't Loud Enough. Here come what the hell you come in here for? Here come How Low Can You Go? Here come Reggae Dance. All of these records, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 445. Music Ain't Loud Enough album comes out in 90. And you get a bunch of singles coming off of that. My deal with CFM was over in 1992, right?
Okay.
Last record that I released on CFM was a song called I Can Make You Dance. That was 1992. That carried over to my next deal, which was another independent label out of Baltimore, Maryland, ran by a guy named Steve Janis, and this was CLR Records, right? So I signed with them in 92, started releasing a couple of joints. I think 1994 was when 20-Minute Workout came out. This is the start of me doing live records, the way that I heard Trouble Funk doing live records. Shout out to Rio Edwards, shout out to Big Tony, because that's where I got the whole concept of doing live records is concerned.
Okay.
Knowing how to mic up a room, knowing how to record right then and there, right on the spot with no, let's go back to this part, let's go back to that part. No, we're not doing it over again.
Right.
We just watching the live performance.
You was going live way before Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. You hear me?
Well, as far as making records is concerned, the only other live hip hop record that I remember was probably Run DMC at the Fun House. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Other than that, ain't nobody else been making live records.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's the whole.
I'm sorry?
No, that's the like the energy of the live records. That's like, that's part of what the DJ Kool sound is, like you say, just and beasting out and cranking and like live, like exciting, energetic.
And it's all come from go-go. I mean, but for me, I always wanted to mix hip hop with go-go, so that's what Music Ain't Loud Enough was. Let's fast forward to 1988. Well, let's rewind the tape, right? From 94 back to 88. We going to the Capitol Center. At the time, I got about 2 or 3 singles out that's doing well. And we're on a big show, probably one of my first big shows. Matter of fact, that was my first big show in this area at the Capitol Center. Myself, Kid and Play was on the show. Salt and Pepper was on the show. Fat Rodney was there. He did not perform, but he was there. Dougie Fresh was there. I remember Teddy Riley and Guy performed on that show. But this particular time that I'm trying to get to is, for some reason, everybody want to be in my dressing room. I don't know what's going on. We gonna party in DJ Kool's dressing room. All right, whatever. So everybody's in there. I never forget this. Dougie Fresh and Fat Rodney was freestyling. Like Dougie just beatboxed while Fat Rodney just freestyling with Dougie Fresh. That was a classic moment. Can't Google it because there won't no such thing as that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
1988, so you had to be there for that. So I've seen Herbie Lovebug. This is my first time seeing him, and I'm liking what he's doing with Salt and Pepper and what he's doing with Kid and Play and everything. I introduced myself to him, and he said, "Man, I know who you are." He said, "You the reason why I made the records that I made with Salt and Pepper, Kid and Play." And he also had a record with Sweet Tea called On the Smooth Tip, sampling go-go and hip-hop. So I'm like, what? So let's fast forward to last year. I do a lot of work with Kid and Play on the road. We work with a company called Universal, and we do an event called I Love the 90s, and we do a lot of old school hip-hop shows, especially around this time of year. So we coming back home, and me and Kid chopping it up at the airport, and I'm telling this story. He said, "No, cool, that's fact." He said, because Herbie Lovebug used to hang in D.C. back in the day, and he heard your stuff. Chasing girls is what he said, right? He said he
Right.
heard your stuff, and obviously he had to hear EU, because how would EU wind up in a song with Salt and Pepper, Shake Your Thing, if he hadn't heard EU and thought that was a great idea? So I was like, well, that's what's up.
Wow. So much
1988
history.
at the Capitol Center.
Yeah, you had a lot to do with a lot.
I guess, but just like I said, I don't think about this stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm just going along. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I'm going along. And when
You
people
just
tell you that you're influential to them, or if
yeah,
you've influenced them in some way or another, then the only thing I can say, okay, well, that's what's up.
exactly. Exactly. I was trying to remember, was it Go-Go Live 2? I remember, like, I guess early 90s, I'm in high school. I would come home and watch Jukebox. Oh, was
One.
that one? Well, because
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure was there. Or
Yes.
were they showing? That was one. Pleasure was that one?
If I'm not mistaken, I know
Okay.
Junkyard was there. I know Lou Benny was there. I know Red Essence was there. Chuck was there. EU was there. I was supposed to be there, but I was on the road somewhere else.
No, but it's so this Capitol Center show, your video would play too. It was like, I don't know if it was the music ain't loud enough. I don't know. I remember DJ Kool going back and forth across stage, when the jukebox joints would come on. Like this was one of my moments that made me say, I want to do this.
Most likely. Well, I didn't have a video for Music Ain't Louder, but I did have a video for Reggae Dance. That was in 1990.
No, this is what I'm saying. They had the live performances from the Capitol Center. And I
Oh,
remember
well,
Pleasure Be 2525, dun, 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 dun. And it would come on too. So, and like I said, I'm a little young. So I'm watching the Go-Go Lives and stuff now, but that's not everybody that performed. That's just the recording they made. So I was
Right.
just wondering what night that was.
The night that I'm talking about wasn't a Go-Go Live performance. It was a hip
Right.
hop. But as far as Go-Go Live is concerned, yes, I was supposed to perform on that, but I was somewhere else. Scorpio performed on Go-Go Live.
Okay, yeah.
Go-Go Live at the Capitol Center, he did. He came out did Stone Cold Hustler with Chuck.
Right. And I saw that. I didn't know Chucky was a Congo player. Like, I'm a little behind with my age. And I was in Maryland, so I ain't get everything. I wasn't able to sneak out like it hit Oxen Run Park or what I mean, some of these things. It came a little later. I mean, I did live in Southeast till I was like 6 or 7, right on Harford Street. I think it's next to Langston Lane, off Alabama Avenue. I went to Stanton Elementary. What was cool in those days, like I told people, my first spark was, my father played bass, he always had videos, and I was around that aspect of it, but face to face, we had a guy named Calvin. I could never remember his name. He was a boxing coach, and we had a boxing ring in front of our apartment building. He would train the guys to box. His son ended up being a council member or something like that. I forget his name, but he was a boxing trainer. So when they weren't boxing, the guys would form would be a drum circle now, right? And buckets and cans. And I remember just being like 5 or 6, walking up like, on the outskirts, picking up a stick in the can, like just getting that bug at that point. And then we moved to Maryland. My father was a painter. My grandmother grew up uptown and southeast. Basically, I would be up there, and my uncle was a painter, so I would pull out them buckets. Just pretty much like anybody in go-go. I mean, lead talkers, keyboard players, anybody had them buckets. So that was
Oh
my
yeah.
initial thing. And then I went to Bladensburg, and we ended up with Lil Boogie, Rah Rah from Northeast Groove was a lot of those people. We kind of had a little bit of talent, not like Eastern or Baloo, but so it ended up finding me here, is what I'm saying, and that was kind of how I got into it. But so I wanted to ask you about like we were talking about your experience at the radio, and I mean I figure like since we're both from this area, we don't have
Mhm.
to talk about a lot of the things. They can go get that in another interview, but just like knowing that we're from this area, the experience with the radio stations and the go-go, you were telling me about a meeting and, how they said they were going to play more and, kind of how you felt about that aspect of, the culture here and how, and what they, and the part they played and what you think they could have did to do more and what we might could do moving forward.
Um, I'm definitely not going to throw any names out there.
Okay. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. However we want to do it.
But I'm just thinking, how can I say this? I wish that they would have stuck to what they were talking about.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. One thing, like, some things were mentioned, and me personally, I haven't heard it.
Right.
And if
Right.
I heard it, I'm quite sure you heard it. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't. So,
Right.
like, well, why do we have this meeting? If we're not going to
And
see
nothing
anything
changes.
talking about happen, that ain't make no sense to me. I could have been, doing a million other things. So I wasn't pleased with that. But what you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right,
Um,
right. And so
uh,
what do you think about the current state of go-go and where it stands and maybe what needs to be done to make it better? I'm not gonna say take it national, take it worldwide, because it's been there. And that's a scary thought now when you look at the industry and some of the stuff going on. So, but like what do you think or where do you see it, or where you think it should be? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's always to me. It's never been about the music. We already know the music is, you
Right.
know, is that.
Top of the line.
Um,
Yeah.
that's been proven time and time again. It's always been the music of it. I'm sorry, the business of it is what I meant to say.
Okay.
I don't know what needs to happen, but whatever needs to happen to tighten the business of it up, if I don't know, maybe putting the right people in place and using the right face or what have you, um, to make it happen business wise. Uh, I don't know. I've always thought they should have used the blueprint that was set down, like put in place with people like Rick Rubin and not Rick Rubin, but I meant to say Russell Simmons. I guess you could say Rick Rubin too. The way that they did hip hop. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, man. To me, once again, it's always been the business of it. It's never been the music of it. I don't have a particular answer as to, okay, this is what we need to do. Bam, and it's gonna happen like that. Probably
Right.
several things that need to be done, but I just
Right.
think that the business of it is at the root of it. I
Exactly.
also think that we need to start recording more original music. I'm
Okay.
tired of these cover tunes, and I think a lot of people are tired of the cover tunes. And these bands are very, very talented. They don't have to do cover tunes.
Right.
Trouble didn't do cover tunes back in the day. They did one. They did Trans Europe. They did Trouble Funk Express, which is a flip of Trans Europe Express. Other than that, Red Essence,
Exactly.
a catalog of original stuff that's crazy.
Right. Right. I
Red
listened
Essence,
to the is remastered live at Breezes Metro. Whatever, they remastered it twice. Roy and Rob just did it again. Man, that thing, I listen to that all day now. Like it's just the musicianship still now is incredible. So, but I guess it's what the crowd appreciates and what they calling for too. So you kind of, bands
my
cater
thing
to
is,
that.
yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
If you come in, all right, I got a restaurant, and all we serve is this, this, and this. If you're hungry,
That's
this is all you got to choose from. You
right.
know what I'm So, no,
Yeah.
we don't have this, this, and this. All we have is this, this, and this. And if
So we
you're
shouldn't
hungry,
let them dictate what we play,
right,
basically, as
right,
artists.
right. I mean, I've seen this over and over again. Just like I said, Raz has got a bunch of original stuff. Look at all that Huckabuck stuff. Look at all that Northeast Groover stuff that was original.
Right. Right.
Trouble Funk stuff. Come on, man. You ain't got to do no cover tunes.
You're right.
Keep doing something enough, people gonna get used to it. They do it every night in the go-go. Backyard got a bunch of original stuff.
Yeah.
Need y'all doing hello. You know why? Because them type of songs right there, in my opinion, man, we trying to appease the radio. Nope.
Right. That ain't gonna play us anyway. They ain't gonna
Right.
show us
It's
no
okay,
love.
man. Be, you know what I'm saying? Do what got you here. Be who we know you to be. I don't need you doing all, you know what I'm saying? That's just for me though. I'm sorry.
Right. And you definitely the party master, the master of ceremonies. Like you said, you all energy. I've watched your broadcast, and it's like, yeah, you get right to it. Speaking of that, I got some loops I'm chopping up, especially for you. It's like I got to go get some stuff,
Okay.
because knowing what you like and what you would probably, could use, and of course, free of charge, I'm gonna send them to you. And that could help me have a pack that could even be better for other DJs and producers. Because sometimes I get caught up in just got so much. All right, I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna put this out. But now I'm specifically looking for the high energy, clean stuff for DJ Kool, man. All right, one more thing. The time
I
running
just
out.
to be
You know,
themselves. Don't be I don't need you trying to sound like Earth, Wind and Fire and all of that because you're gonna mess around and lose your core fan base. I done seen this happen too many times. Keep on doing what got you here. That's why we love you. It's
right?
why because you are this. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Exactly.
need to be this. Matter of fact, we
Right.
probably got that from
Exactly.
something else. I need you to just keep on doing what you've been doing and expand on that. If you one of them grimy groups, keep on giving us
Right.
grimy. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
So that's
backyard.
what we checking for you for.
Right. They were like
I need
backyard,
to
the
keep
bad boys
on
of go go.
like, huh?
No, like backyard was always the bad boys of go-go. And they still are, but once they got Bob and them, look, it's beautiful, but they got a little more musical. They got older and mature, but always make sure y'all keep it there. And they pretty much do for all intents and purposes. But I've heard
I
people say, man, they
so
too smooth now. I like the 95 backyard. It's just like, they're not gonna
I
be
mean,
exactly
well,
the same.
there's nothing wrong with showing a little growth,
Right.
right? Please don't get too far away
From
from
what
what
you
we
are.
love. You know what I mean?
Right,
Don't get
right.
too far away now. I don't mind you showing growth and maturity and all that old kind of stuff, but we want this from y'all. Keep
Right.
on getting us this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't need all that soft stuff. We got groups out there that do that. Let them do that.
Exactly. Well, look, like I said, I got the free Zoom. I'm just getting started with this. I only got a minute. I mean, I probably could start it back up, but I ain't gonna hold you. I wanted to ask you about Kendrick and Drake and what you
I don't
think
care nothing about
that's bringing to hip hop. You
that. I
want to
don't care
speak on that?
about that. No,
You
I
don't
don't care.
care. I know you was gonna say that. Like I know your personality after these conversations. It's certain stuff I was like, I ain't gonna ask him. He gonna hit me with the Dick Gat Gregory. Like, come on, son, shut up. Look, okay, but
You
I'm
know,
new at this.
no, it's all good. I guess I'd rather speak on the fact that I'm tired of seeing all the nasty stuff coming out, like just filthy. Because I have a daughter,
Right.
and I'm raising her a particular way, and I'm glad that she's conforming to that, or she has conformed to that. So I'm proud of her for that. But some of the stuff that I see these girls doing is like all this strip club activity.
This is way over the top. My father called
Yeah,
them stripper
and
singers.
I come from the group era,
Okay. Yeah.
you know. But the thing is, I guess it's a place for that. And
Okay. Here we go. Now we're back.
okay, and we're back. To me, I guess it's a place for it, especially nowadays. But the thing is, and I heard an MC say this that a young lady that I respect as far as hip hop is concerned. Her name is Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's a big fan of it, but she said her thing was they don't have enough diversity. Like this is all that they push, not pushing artists like her and Tierra Whack and those artists that have very good lyrical content and that are real artists. And and they wearing their clothes and they're not showing a bunch of TNA and like their whole show is not turning around and showing their ass to you the whole show instead of what I mean? Like you can go see that at any strip club, in the world. So that's my thing.
At least
not
have a
enough
balance.
diversity, huh?
Right. At least have a balance of it. It's just all one way, and that there's a lot to be said about that. But so okay. I also wanted to bring up the fact, because now that I found out all these other things you were responsible for, I wanted people to know that you were definitely responsible for breaking the Huggabucks record. And a lot of, I'm not sure if it was all you, but I remember when we started going to radio stations, you were the first person. Charlie said, y'all got to go see DJ Kool because he the one who got this thing popping for y'all. So that's always been a thing, in the back of my head. And, every time I always came up to you, I started with that. So definitely grateful for that. And just wanted people to know that while you were at 1580, like you told us the story, the PGC came, right, and said, look, man, we want this.
Fact. A month after, I'm like, bro, I told y'all about this a month ago. What are you talking about? But see, once again, this Huckabucks project, shout out to Charlie Fenwick and everybody that was responsible for that project. Another situation where as soon as I put my ear to it, we playing this right now. And we playing this, and we playing this, and we playing this. Like, then nobody had to tell me. My ears told me. And as soon as I put it on the dance floor, they told me over and over and over again. In all these different clubs that I was playing at. So then, just like you said, I'm up at Flavor 1580, which was a WPGC offshoot, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I got it going in the streets. And I'm talking to the FM, man, what's up with this Huckabuck? And I don't know. I said, man, I'm telling you, you need to be playing this right now.
You don't need to know. I'm telling you.
Right. You know what I mean? Y'all know who you're talking to, you know what I mean? And they won't know, thing like I'm coming up in there with my chest out. But it's like, I'm looking at this every night. And the city knows. The city already knows. So then how you going to come to me a month later? Hey, man, you got that Huggabuck. I told y'all about that a month ago.
Right. Yeah.
But here you go anyway. You know what I mean? Because I'm in the street. You can't tell me nothing. I'm up over top of these dance floors every night. That goes for me and any other DJ that's in these clubs.
Right.
The DJs know we looking at this. We the ones that's pushing these buttons to make this stuff happen. Are you not gonna listen to us? So that's just been my thing with that part of the industry. I don't care about statistics. I care about what my ears are telling me and what my eyes are telling me every night that I look at a dance floor in a different clubs.
Right.
If you can't trust that, then I don't know what to take.
Exactly. Like I talked to friends with Shablast, and like I got a basic, I kind of can see your influence on him. Cause this is like the same way, but just always have respect as a DJ because he used to do the Ibex. on, when we were there. And, we had Crazy, I think, at first. He just always stood out with the scratching and, just as a DJ, like even his playlist and all that. And then over time, I just like you said, I respect what he got to say. Like, I'm going to send him something to see what he got to say. Like, just I send it to you because I know he's there and I just trust his ear. But he like that with you, like the energy. He be like, man, you got to do this and this and that. But like I said, now talking to you, I see where some of that come from because he kind of like you in that regard, which is a compliment. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
yeah, man. So, you want to talk about anything you got going or tell the people, to look out for? I know you got the cha-cha, and probably some other stuff in the cut.
Kind of on that a little bit, not a whole lot, because once again, I'm not signed, have not been signed in a long time. I just kind of put that record out, and that was back in that was 4 years ago, as a matter of fact. Like that much time has passed that fast. Just kind of testing the waters, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to try a different thing. I wanted to see what was going on the line dance side of things because they stopped dancing in the clubs. They took the dance floor away. Chief, how you gonna take the dance floor out of the club and turn the place into a lounge? If it's a lounge, why we got a DJ here?
Right. You just put a Bluetooth.
Trying to get everybody back together dancing again.
Right. Not just on TikTok for these videos. Like dance at the club and partake with people and enjoy yourself, express yourself.
Yeah, the dance floor. They took the dance floor away. Like what are we doing? Then this ain't a club. Well, just like I said, it's not a club. It's a lounge. And if it's a lounge, then why do we have a DJ here?
Right. Well, speaking of that, like, I guess when they took the go-go out of Maryland they took it out of DC and they kind of went to Maryland, but they shut them down in Maryland. Like when we came up, we had Ibexes and Taj Mahals, and I'm sure y'all had the Panorama Room triples and the Cherries, and I wasn't at a lot of them spots, but it wasn't no chairs, no couches, it really wasn't no VIP. It wasn't no VIP sections. We had the balcony, but we had these venues with 1,500, 1,000 people could come and, 2 or 3 bands for $20. And it's like, I guess with the violence or what they say is violence, violence happens anywhere, but whatever the initiatives was to stop the go-go. I don't know all the political side of it, but I do remember when I was playing with Soul Patrol, kind of like towards the end of right before 2000, and I wasn't really on the go-go scene, and I was playing, we playing R&B cover band with Scooter and some of them cats from EU, right? And then we might do a Black Men's Coalition at the Crystal City with familiar faces, or so we would run into, and then Scooby and them was doing their thing, which was R&B too. They was singing more covers, but they were more hip, and they gonna drop it in the pocket a little different than we were. But at that time, it kind of went to lounges. And from these big places we were playing at, now you're on H Street and you're playing up against the window, the drummer right there, and it's just so small and compact, and it's like you couldn't even bring the smaller congos. I thought they were gone, but I forget what they called. When you came in there with them, they said, "No, you can't even come in here." Our percussionists had the bongos and the 2 big ones, and the whole percussion set. But yeah, they wouldn't even let you in with them bacos. Nah, you ain't. So I think that even has something to do with why all the bands play covers now. It seemed like that transition made people just kind of tone it down. I mean, if you still got Junkyard, as you got the crankers, they still crank, and you got even some B-list bands that been a mental attraction and bands that been around for a long time. But you got Aqua and you got 55, and they're playing that more though. Then Junkyard or Essence not gonna be at that little lounge on H Street or something, But it seemed like that's what forced it to go into this. Everybody do covers, and sometimes you used to walk down the street and you could tell who was playing by the percussion or the singer. Now the cover song is like even the same way they doing the cover. Then let the beat ride for a little bit, then back to the cover. Even when we did covers and we were on the show with Junkyard or Essence and Backyard, and we might have did the same cover, we all would do it different in a different way. We had our own identity. So
that's
now, yeah.
But what I was speaking about was more so from a DJ perspective, and the fact that you know, these are dance clubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That turned into lounges. So let's get rid of
Okay.
this dance. Let's put a bunch of tables and chairs or couches or whatever, and we're gonna make this a big ass VIP, and we're gonna have bottles,
Right.
and they're gonna be in here smoking hookah all night, which God knows is what's in that,
Right.
and taking selfies all damn night.
Right. I got
On
you.
social
It's like a
media. I'm like,
fashion
that's
show.
no damn party. What the hell is that? Why do you have a DJ there when his
Right.
job is to keep that dance floor hot so them people can get thirsty and go back and forth to that daggone bar? You know what I mean? Like that.
Right.
If you got a big lounge situation going on where there is no dance floor and the only way people can dance is if they stand it up like in these little sections or what have you in front of these couches and carrying on, you don't need a DJ for that.
Right.
Hey, Pandora or
Right.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got Bluetooth speakers now. Put your phone on there. Which
Right.
brings up a great point of some of these DJs, if that's what you want to call them, right? With this technology. Look, that's they birthed that. They just in there, sinking and they didn't come from first of all the records and having to line that up. Because I dibble and
Right.
dabble and I respect it. Like I just putting a tape or the mark on there and knowing where it's at and the revolutions, like that's serious DJing. So, but that kind of gave birth to what, some of these new school DJs are. I mean, it is what it is, but like you said, though, I guess over time, certain things happen that create other things because they definitely don't need DJ Kool in that joint where they ain't dancing because you
Well,
gonna be bored. You go
exactly. I don't even want to be there. You know what I mean? Because
exactly, yeah,
I come to leave blood on the dance floor if I may quote Michael Jackson. You know what I mean?
right,
That's why I'm here. You don't need me where you got this lounge set up and kind of. I played in places like that, and it is the worst. Me personally, I don't really care about playing in clubs no more because they've turned them into these lounge situations. Give me a damn dance floor.
well,
That's why I'm saying show you who I am. You know what I mean?
you doing new edition tours and stuff too, arenas. So you could.
I have, thank God, and I do love that. Now that
yeah.
I would rather honestly nowadays, and I've been telling a lot of people this. If I have to do the club thing, fine. Hopefully it's the right situation. So, that's up to my management to make sure that they put me in the proper situations where I can actually fit or flourish in. You know what I mean?
Right.
For the most part, man, I'd rather do corporate events, right? And tours. That's all I want to do right now because that's where the real money is. That's where the real clientele is. And that's where the party at for me. You know what
energy,
I mean?
the real energy.
Well, I mean, these clubs, same 25 songs. I'm like, man, I'm done with that. Like, I want to hear some music. I want to hear some 70s. I want to hear some 80s. I want to hear some 90s. Maybe a little early 2000s. Maybe for me, my cutoff is probably 2012 to 2015. After that,
it got weird.
for me, you know what I mean?
I understand.
I got a 40 for real, a 45 and up clientele that really know who I am and whatnot. And
right.
That's my cutoff, man. After that, I can't do nothing for you. If you're looking for that, you got the wrong guy. You know what I mean? But if you want to hear some classic music, some stuff that a lot of people, like grown folks, grew up to and this and that, you bring me up in there. As long as I got a crowd that know what they listening to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, your management put you in the right situations. And you've been flying out every week. Are you flying somewhere? I'll be like, look at him. He gone again.
Thank God. Thank God.
That's a beautiful thing. Yep. God is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get back to your work. Appreciate you coming on. Of course, we'll chop it up again. We talked about getting together and doing some things too. So we'll see what the future holds.
Oh yeah, for sure, Chief. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Just to let everybody know if they want to catch me, social media wise, on Instagram, Facebook, what they call it X nowadays, which was Twitter, called X now. At Legendary DJ Kool DC. Don't forget about what I call my Tuesday night Turner broadcast, or TNT, damn it, that we do every
For sure.
Tuesday through GoGo Radio Live. Shout out to Nico Hobson. He is the HNIC of that situation. Every Tuesday from 7 to 9. Make sure you be on time. I ain't playing number 80s and 90s crank. So yeah,
Crank.
that's it, man. Yep.
All right, man. Thank you, my brother. Keep it cranking.
Thank you.
Until the next time. Salute.
Yes. Peace.
All right, peace.